The Miriam Fund is a collective grant-making organization. We have 130 members, and we're celebrating this year our 25th year. And we are dedicated and committed to improving the lives and creating social change for self-identifying women and girls. We are so lucky that for the past 2 years, we've been able to work with the Women's Lunch Place on providing an in-house legal counsel who works with the guests of the Women's Lunch Place on helping them with housing insecurity, one of the most critical issues in Boston today. The fact that this in-house legal attorney has actually prevented people from being evicted from their homes, have gotten them access to the benefits that they deserve, is absolutely incredible. And in seeing how difficult it is for someone who has stability to navigate some of the complexity and bureaucracy of our systems, to have a support from someone who listens and who cares deeply about them is instrumental. Because of the name Women's Lunch Place, foundations might not understand the extent of the services that Women's Lunch Place provides. It's not until you actually go into the building where you see, where you can feel, you can taste what makes this institution unique. The dedication of the staff to the mission and the success of the guests is palpable. And the success that we've seen with the in-house legal counsel and the impact that it's had on the guests is not unique at the Women's Lunch Place. This is true of every program they run. And if I think about a return on investment for a foundation who is looking at having impact, can't see a better place than Women's Lunch Place.
RIZE Massachusetts is a statewide foundation that is solely focused on ending the overdose crisis. I think there are still people out here in the world today who believe that it's a choice or that it's a moral failure for people who use drugs, and that they can somehow pull themselves up by the bootstraps and just power through it and get better. And we know that addiction is a disease. I mean, there's plenty of evidence that shows addiction is a disease. It's a disease that can be treated, and it should be treated like other chronic diseases. And unfortunately, in many cases, it still isn't. Women's Lunch Place is one of our Taking Action grantees. This is the second year of the program. They're in a cohort of 6, really working to improve access to addiction treatment, which they're doing right here on site at Women's Lunch Place. Amazing work is being done, tailored to the clientele that comes here, and really focused on making sure that women have the support and care that they need. We chose Women's Lunch Place for a number of reasons. The fact that the approach is person-centered, it's inclusive, it's participatory. One of the things that we do at RIZE is we involve people with lived experience in our decision-making. We know that Women's Lunch Place does that too, so that was something that we saw as a very important element to the programming here. The site itself is so unique. It's welcoming. You've got flowers on the table, you have nice paintings on the wall, welcoming team of people who bring you in. There's all sorts of other services, wraparound services that occur here, in addition to treatment, which I think is great. So it's not your typical doctor's office or methadone clinic. I think it's much more low threshold, much more accessible, more friendly, and I think people feel really safe here. It's wonderful to see that there are places like this for women who have experienced such deep trauma, and that they've got a little bit of a respite here. I feel like we should be honoring you and all the organizations that are on the front lines. But if RIZE and organizations like RIZE have a small part to play in making these programs sustainable, then thank you very much for honoring us. We exist to serve organizations like Women's Lunch Place, so we take the honor very seriously, and we are humbled by it.